Gals Looper. I'm Brian,
I'm Brad.
and this is our first 2 minute non-spoiler review. And we'll give our rating and get into the spoilers. Brad, this was the first one won on our Marbles stream to decide the list, submitted by you. You want to
Yep.
start the marble rolling, the ball rolling by saying why this was on 10 one of your 10 choices.
Yeah. I think it's a really good sci-fi movie that deals with time travel in a kind of a very Star Wars like way. And we'll get into that in
Star Wars.
Yeah. It's a joke, so don't go too far into that. But it deals with time travel. Thought it was pretty interesting. I don't think it's a movie that a lot of people, I think it's a movie that kind of got overlooked towards the end of Bruce Willis's career, because I don't really think he's done a whole lot after this.
Oh
after
yeah,
his burning down the house in the 90s.
Well, he's done a ton. Anything that's not direct to DVD or a horrible Die Hard sequel. Then
taking a quick look here. Lucky number 11, but that was before this.
Yeah, I remember you. I think I remember you speaking fondly of Lucky Number 11. I remember seeing it back in the day, and I just wasn't. I wasn't grasped.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. It might be another one on this list that might be underrated. But ooh, look at the box office numbers for that movie. Ooh, ouch.
Which one?
Lucky number 11.
Gotcha. Well, I'll say like this one. I don't. It got. I don't want to mention the other film because I know that the writer's a asshole piece of shit. But it felt like a movie that got a lot of buzz back in the day. For me, like this was the indie darling, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
and something that people got excited to see, like one of those word of mouth blockbusters. I mean, Rian Johnson's next film was a Star Wars film.
Okay.
So
and he spells his name really funny too. But yeah, Rian.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying he spells his name funny. It just looks weird. But yeah, this was originally.
You're getting canceled in about 5 years for that.
Oh, that's fine. By that time, I won't even care. I'll be like, I don't remember saying that, but sure, I believe you. And they'll be like, here's the recording of you saying this. And I'll be like, sounds like me. It could be me.
Just a lot of weird flex, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because this was originally premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like an indie that, was brought up.
Yeah, I guess how I would equate it is like, at least the buzz at the time reminds me a lot about the buzz around Memento.
Okay.
Like that was the feel. Like he had done other ones, and I'd even seen one. Actually, Brick got a lot of traction also with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but I had only seen the Brothers Bloom with Adrian Brody, some other people, a cameo by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. A very interesting cameo because it made you think, oh, he's gonna show up later, and then he did not. But and also the last time I heard Bruce Willis being nice, like he really complimented Rian Johnson.
Yeah, because he did Brick, Looper, Star Wars: Last Jedi, and Knives Out.
Yeah, and
those are the ones he's best known for. But
and to give context, like the other movie I remember him, at least in terms of talking about a director, was Cop Out, which came out 2 years before that. He was, at least from the stories that Kevin Smith said, because I don't think Bruce Willis said it publicly, he was not nice. Not at all.
I can see person.
What'd you say? It cut out.
I can see. Oh, I'm sorry. I can see Bruce Willis being that kind of person.
Yeah, apparently it gave me a lot of respect for Tracy Morgan if I didn't have it before then, which was because apparently Bruce Willis just started acting like a big fat baby on set. And
Yeah.
Tracy Morgan started, even though he had a fucking hole in his foot from a surgery connected to his diabetes, he started like doubling his effort to take the stress off the crew and everybody around him, like making up for that vacuum that the baby Willis
So what
caused.
did you just start telling jokes and stuff, or
Like things like well, just taking everything in stride, not being a prima donna, like just literally helping around as far as I can tell. Like one day they were supposed to have a walk and talk, literally just a walk and talk, just this is the exposition, these are the plot points to catch everyone up, blah blah blah. And Bruce Willis just went, I feel like my character wouldn't be talking in this scene. And it was literally just him talking to his partner because he didn't want to do the work of remembering the lines or whatever. He was they had to figure out and rewrite on the day a way for Tracy Morgan to basically monologue what was a well, why is this? Oh, because of this. Like, two characters fucking helping each other out.
That's crazy. That's nuts.
Well,
Just, I mean, to be that big of a prima donna would be crazy. But I guess, I mean, when you're that famous and you've been in this game for that long, you're probably kind of just tired of everything, and you're probably just like, and how can I phone this in?
Yeah, very the opposite of Ted Lasso. Be judgmental, not curious. Like Kevin Smith to be fair, Kevin Smith was a first-time action director for that film. He didn't have any experience, so he was very green, very inexperienced. Could have like used an action star, a grizzled veteran of the craft there to guide him.
Yeah, he definitely could have.
But instead, he was just like, he doesn't know what he's doing. I'm
out.
Checked out.
But I don't really think he checks out of this movie.
No, yeah, no. He was very complimentary of Rian Johnson.
Yeah, he seemed like he put in work for this movie, so
yeah,
which is a plus. And then somebody else who put in a lot of work was Joseph Gordon-Levitz. I mean, studying his mannerisms, how the way he talks. Obviously, they had to do prosthetics, which kind of throws you for the first second or two, and then you're just over it. But yeah, I would say he did a really good job, studying up and becoming young Bruce Willis. I mean, it's mildly believable.
Yeah. I think to be non-spoiler about it, I think if anybody watched The Terminator was like, I would like to empathize with the Terminator. Then
this is your movie.
This is and have some interesting like visual flair with the direction and some other stuff. I'm interested to hear why this is Star Wars-esque time travel, if we need to wait for spoilers for that, because I think the biggest thing about the movie is how flawed the time travel is.
Yeah.
And we'll get into it. Like it's just a big red pimple. Where you're like, okay, I'll have to accept that this doesn't make any sense.
But this movie lacks a lot of rules. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to do this. Lacks a lot of rules, but stays consistent with the lack of rules. It doesn't try to like lack of rules. Oh, that's how you could. But this is here, and we can forget the rule for 30 seconds while we figure out this.
So you're saying it's a Michael Bay film in its logic?
Yeah.
As convenient.
Yeah, just it's yeah. And it kind of since there's like no rules, you're just like, well, it could happen because we don't know the difference.
Yeah. It basically, if you don't get bugged or your mind doesn't wander about the rules of time travel, and you can just turn that part of your brain off and really get invested in the character, this is the movie for you.
Yeah, if you think movies, I'm trying to think of a good one.
You're still going to enjoy it.
Yeah, Interstellar, where there's too many rules, and they try and do the whole time travel and 4D and stuff like that, where they try and do that too much. this is the opposite of that. If Interstellar was too many rules, and this is not enough rules, you got to find a good happy medium.
What was too few rules? This one? Oh, this
one. This
gotcha.
one has like almost no rules. Interstellar is too far the other way of it, almost hurts your mind thinking about.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very Christopher Nolan. Too many rules. You know, but yeah. I remember in an interview, like he talks about how he had it all mapped out or whatever, and they could have had an 8-minute scene explaining the rules. And yes, smarter to just cut it out. However, I'll say like what Christopher Nolan and what Rian Johnson both could have learned, and I haven't seen Interstellar, is going to that interstellar level of having the rules and just getting it so minute so that you know it, and then cut out 80% of the rules from the exposition. Because as long as it makes sense and you know that it makes sense to an undeniable degree, the audience can sense that. And I mean, hey, you could always just put it as a special feature and like actually explain all the rules outside of the film. But when it's like this, it's just like, no, there's no, it doesn't. It doesn't. I tried. It doesn't. I really tried. And there's more than one gaping hole of logic, and I'll explain to it. I'll explain it when we get it, or at least my take on it when we get into spoilers. But what else? Anything else you'd like to say for the non-spoiler section before we get into our review?
No, I'm interested in the spoiler section, so that's what I'm here for.
All right. Well, my rating is a joint.
Okay.
I think it would have been a jointy edible if the rules of time travel worked. You know, I think its flair and its character work are exceptional, and then the story just falls apart under scrutiny in terms of the plot. So it was teetering on some parts of it are edible and some parts of it are skunky. Or yeah. So
yeah,
together a joint.
I'm gonna go with jointy edible. So nice. I think it's like a solid C+. Yeah, I think it fires on all cylinders. I think the lack of rules, and as long as this is a sci-fi movie, as long as you can kind of turn off your mind a little bit and just go with it, you're okay. As soon as you start analyzing, adding up 1 + 1 = 2, sure, bring the 2 here, that's when it starts getting kind of messy.
Yeah.
But when you deal with time travel, I mean, I think time travel is just one of those hard things to do in movies. It's tough. It's tough because you have to explain too much or you don't explain it all. And this movie went to the don't explain it at all section.
Yeah.
But either you get too complex and too convoluted, or you just have to just go with it. This movie just says, hey, just go with it. It's fine.
Hell, I mean, like Endgame, what is it? It literally just basically said, so Back to the Future is bullshit. And they did it twice. And it took up probably a total of like 60 seconds, maybe 120 seconds. And it's great. Works.
Yeah.
Perfect. Anyway, spoilers. If you, I should have said it before, but if you want to actually watch it and buy it, the affiliate link's down below.
And it has a very nice steelbook.
Oh, yeah. All right. I'll see if that's on Amazon and put a link down below if it is. But
I think it is. If not, there's other websites.
What do you want to talk about first? Do you want to just blow open all the plot holes
sure.
immediately?
Absolutely.
All right.
I'll start this off with, because obviously time travel is going to be the biggest part of this thing. I like the fact that they just kind of like do these are not your droids hand wave when it comes to this, when it comes to the time travel. When they're sitting at the diner, he's like, I can explain time travel to you, but we're going to spend the rest of the day here and we're going to be drawing models out with straws and building forts with straws.
Yeah.
It says it'll make your head hurt.
That I'm perfectly fine with. That scene. Yeah. Perfect. I love it.
I'm glad that they just kind of hand waved, like, these are not the droids you're looking for. Yeah. Just move on. So I like how they did that. I mean, it's better than trying to get it all convoluted and this is how it actually works, or just accept the fact that it works and call it a day.
Yeah.
So if I was given the two options, I would rather just have, okay, time travel works. Yes, it's messy. Yes, there's going to be some issues with it, but just accept that this is how it's done.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what do you think about that?
I love this. Like I said, I love that scene. I don't want to change a single thing about it. I mean, if you added one or two things, sure. But here, this is the biggest time travel gripe that people said when they were reviewing it, which is how do the tracker things that track people who would be dead stop working? Like, technically, according to, at least maybe this was in an interview, but everyone in the future has like nanobots or something that could help them track them. That's why they send them back to the past to kill them and dispose of them. But they throw them into a furnace. So why couldn't, in the past, if that destroys the nanobots, why don't they throw them into a furnace in the present? And if it doesn't destroy the nanobots, why don't they just find like a mass grave of like 1,000 people in one place with all their nanobots? It would have been nice to just
they probably would. Huh? They probably would if they opened up that furnace.
Well, I mean, you're supposed
the abandoned crematorium out in the middle of nowhere.
I mean, you're supposed to be able to find them though, So like it wouldn't change if the nanobots were not destroyed. Then it's like a week after they disappeared, they'd be like, all right, show me where the nanobots are, this place. And then how does that save anything? If they said that the time travel like destroyed the nanobots or the nanobots couldn't come back with you, immediately solve that. But those weren't mine. My biggest gripes were obviously the fact that him killing himself at the end would cause a paradox. It wouldn't just make Bruce Willis disappear. It would make the whole time, all the events of Bruce Willis coming back change. If it'll change Bruce Willis disappearing suddenly, it would change all the events that would lead up to that. And then everything would reset because it wouldn't have happened. So, he literally has to go back in time for him to kill himself. So it's a paradox. It doesn't work. But the biggest thing, and I get why they did it to make us empathize with Bruce Willis more, but like him having a reality where he kills himself, like closes his loop and then lives the rest of his life and meets his wife and everything couldn't happen because in that reality, he didn't go find the child, shoot him in the face and kill the mother. And that's like one of the things he mentions in the diner scene is there's rumors of his mom being killed and him being disfigured.
Yep.
Yeah. So he never would have created the Rainmaker in the reality where he closed his own loop.
Unless it's alluding to, and we're going to get super deep into this, probably way deeper than we even mean to. Yeah, unless we're talking about multiple strings of reality, kind of similar to Doctor Strange looking in the future. Oh, I went through 14 million realities. We only win once.
That's the thing, though, because if it is that time travel, that endgame time travel of multiple realities, then young Joe killing himself would not have killed old Joe.
Yeah.
Because
unless
it just would have caused it, but it can't. It can't be both. It can either be Back to the Future of like everything you change something in the past changes in the future and then paradox, or multiple realities where if it's multiple realities, then young Joe killing himself would just made old Joe go like, the fuck did he, young Joe cutting into himself, Beatrix would not have changed old Joe's arm, So it's like, what is it? There was this great movie that turned into a pretty entertaining TV show called, it was like Radio Signal or something. I don't know, but it was
that radio signal sounds familiar. I don't
it's
think I've seen it, but I've believe I've heard that.
it's not that. It was about a little boy who grew up without his father because his father was killed in a fire, and he ends up finding a ham radio or something that lets him talk to him over 30 years.
Oh, there's a mailbox one like that too, where they write letters to each other in the mailbox.
Oh, that is Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock in the Lake House.
Lake House.
I know because I was the one person who liked that movie when it came out.
Nice. Congratulations. How was it?
I thought it was really good. I thought it, nothing crazy, but I didn't think it deserved the hate it did. Although I could just go back to it and figure it out. But
another TV show that's doing that now is Archive 81 on Netflix. It's a Netflix show that deals with stuff like that. He's putting together tapes. He's restoring like old cassette tapes and stuff like that for some museum of some sort, and some big high up person wants him to restore tapes from a fire of an apartment building in New York. So he goes to this compound and does it, and he can communicate, and he sees with the person that he's restoring the tapes for, or it's the girl that's recording the tapes. It's super interesting.
What's it called?
Archive 81.
Gotcha. I'll check that. The movie I was talking about is Frequency. So spoilers for the movie. But at the end he gives him a tip about who's causing the arson that ends up killing his father. And his father then makes a different choice and survives and is alive the whole time. So it's Back to the Future rules kind of. But yeah, so either old Joe always comes to the past and creates Rainmaker, or he doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any way. I don't think there's any way that kid doesn't turn into the Rainmaker after the events of the movie, regardless of Joe killing himself.
Yeah, there's a chance he always becomes it.
That kid got shot in the face. He's also one of the strongest TK users that they've ever seen. I mean,
yeah, but
there's no way that kid doesn't become super powerful in the future.
He's going to become super powerful. But the interesting thing that I liked about this movie is that it's all about his morality. That's what's on the line. Everyone in power who you hate could have been good. 99% of them could have been good if they had better influences.
Or something would have changed in their life to not send them down that path.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll say after like all the criticism of The Last Jedi, and I liked it more than most, but I could acknowledge its flaws, but I didn't defend it as much as like Patrick Willems, who seemed to have, no offense to Patrick Willems, but he seemed to have his head up his butt. Like he gaslit people who didn't like it. First off, people were very, very vocal. If they were as, being as nasty as, there were a lot of people who were being really nasty to Marie Tran, I think her name was. Fuck those people. All those people can go fuck themselves. Yes, they can all go fuck themselves. They harassed her off social media. Go fuck yourself. That would have been a proper position to come from. But he, in his defense, since he liked the movie more than most, he just criticized people's criticism of the movie. Like about the first and second one, he wrote, I think it was either for the first or second one, but he wrote, "This is a space movie for kids about wizards," or something like that. Like just really minimalizing people's legit criticisms of it. In a kind of condescending way. And then when Rise of Skywalker came out, he was crushed. And part of me was just like, and I like Patrick Willems, but sometimes he just makes some very not great arguments. His video on Kevin Smith is one that I've been meaning to make like a response video of when I finally get the time to do a full video. But because it's just full of like horrible arguments. But anyway, like I'm not after all the valid criticisms and stuff, I remember seeing an interview where an interviewer was like, so like what? So you listened to all the criticisms, like anything you learned from it, anything you like thought, oh yeah, that's actually valid. And Ryan Johnson just goes, nope, nope. And I'm just like, my guy, like you're not fucking perfect.
No, not even.
No one is. Yeah, come on. Like, just be open-minded. Don't be, don't be Joe Rogan. I was just thinking of that because Joe Rogan like apologized to Spotify for all this stuff, and I'm like, and he put it as like, I make mistakes, and I'm like, you listen to someone with very credible, provable evidence for hours, and they're like, so did I change your mind at all? And they're like, nope.
No, I read on Facebook one time that this is the truth. So
just acknowledge that you have confirmation bias.
I don't care about you're a doctor that you've studied this for the last 80 years.
Yeah.
I saw on Facebook by my crazy uncle that this is true.
Anyway, so I don't think there was any changing his mind. Like if someone was like, this time travel doesn't make a lot of sense, you'd be like, yes, it does. It does.
He just smiles.
Part of me
go to like Comic-Con and he just smiles. He's sitting there smiling. He kind of looks like a what's the guy from The Hobbit?
Bilbo?
Yeah, what's the
one
actor?
of the dwarves?
No,
which one? Martin Freeman?
No, the famous one. The Bilbo Baggins.
I mean, Martin Freeman played the young Bilbo Baggins. That who you're talking about?
The one in the regular movie. The one in the actual Lord of the Rings, not the Hobbit ones.
All right, that says something about me because I'm like, Martin Freeman's definitely the more famous one.
No,
you talking about Smeagol?
No.
Okay.
You're just. I think you're trolling.
No, Martin Freeman got famous with Sherlock, and he's been in, the Hobbit trilogy, and he was in, Marvel.
Elijah Wood. Get out of here.
That's not Bilbo. That's Frodo.
No, Frodo. Who cares? It's all the same to me. Who cares?
I'm thinking of like the old Bilbo. I'm like, I don't know who that actor's name is.
He kind of looks like an old like. Get out of here. You're adopted.
I wish I was. Oh my god! I wasn't trolling you.
No, I was on the wrong character because I've seen the extended Lord of the Rings, actually relatively recent, the extended versions. So I've watched them all once. I've seen all the movies minimum one time.
Yeah, I'm in no rush to see Battle of the Five Armies. After Desolation of Smaug, I was so pissed because I'm just like, it's fucking 3 hours and there was no Smaug fight. I didn't see him desolating shit.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Hobbit movies, so I probably need to watch those.
Nope. No, you don't.
Nope.
No, you don't.
I feel like I should.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to recast this movie and make Joseph Gordon-Levitz make him Elijah Wood, and then turn Bruce Willis into Ryan Johnson, you probably could. You could probably do it.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, just change the two characters, and Ryan Johnson could be in his own movie. And they wouldn't even have to do much changing of like, they wouldn't have to add the nose like they did to Gordon-Levitz. Just, it's crazy. I that's all I see when I look at Ryan Johnson is just Elijah Wood, old Elijah Wood. Just look at his IMDb page, or I guess I'm on Wikipedia. Look at his Wikipedia page when he's in a black suit with a red tie. Just looks like Elijah Wood.
Nice. All right.
Probably a super nice guy, but I'd probably mistake him for Elijah Wood the first time.
Jesus Christ. I just looked up Elijah Wood and there's a Daniel Radcliffe Elijah Wood face split.
Hi. Is it like Face Off?
No, it's kind of, but they just did a great job of actually like marrying the faces together and just nope, don't do that. There's one where it's split down the middle and it just looks more aesthetically pleasing because it's separated. Like your brain can see the line, but when it's put together, just nope. No thanks. Anyway, let's see.
Jeff Daniels is in this movie.
Yes. Well, what I want to say about Ryan Johnson really quickly is like this is like middle tier of his films. I think I don't remember Brothers Bloom. That had Mark Ruffalo. It was good. I remember enjoying it. But The Last Jedi is a little lower, I think, for me. And then
so Looper's actually second in your list.
Yeah, and Knives Out is just top tier. Like
yeah, Knives Out was fantastic.
You leave Ryan Johnson to do what he's good at, which is what does he love to do? He loves subverting expectations. Keep him in a mystery whodunit.
Great, fantastic.
I believe Knives Out 2 and 3 are going to be excellent. If he comes back for the Star Wars trilogy he was supposed to do, I'm just gonna be like, ooh, we gonna have some issues.
Yeah, because I think he's slated for the next unnamed trilogy that's supposed to come out.
They're not gonna do it. They had a trilogy they were supposed to do with the Game of Thrones creators before they shit out the last 2 seasons, according to everyone's opinion. Because I haven't seen it, I know you like it. But
yeah, I mean, part of it's just that you don't have a source material. You're kind of just winging it.
Yeah,
you're going off what some old man hasn't written yet.
Yeah, they had the outlines, but like, yeah, no, that quietly stopped happening as well.
Yeah, but Knives Out is in post production, so I mean, hopefully we get that this year.
It'll come on Netflix.
Yeah, Knives Out did, so I hope so.
Well, Netflix owns Knives Out 2 and 3.
Oh, do they? Oh, fantastic. Yeah, but
they bought it for $100 million, just the rights, and then gave them. It's coming out in 2022, is what Google says.
Yeah. I mean, but it wouldn't be the first Netflix movie to go to theaters. So.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt it'll have a theatrical run.
Just because how good the first one was.
Yeah. And because Ryan Johnson seems like in another way, like Christopher Nolan, where he'd be like, I'll die if this doesn't go to theaters.
Get a box office number. I want my box office.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure if they just put in one theater for a whole year and just were like, yeah, anyone come to this one singular theater, both directors would be like, excellent.
Dreams become realities.
Yeah, I don't know. If it's not clear, I don't have a lot of respect for inflexibility in creative industries. I get loving what you love, but if you're so inflexible that like everything else but the thing you love is death, like, oh my God, they would watch Tenet on their phone? Never. We need to stop this. Then I'm like, okay, calm down. But yeah, I'm very excited to have what is it? Ooh, Catherine Hahn, Dave Bautista, Ed Norton. That's gonna be funny in Knives Out 2. Ed Norton being like, so you in the MCU? How is it these days? And to Catherine Hahn. But anyway, what else? I should have said this in the non-spoilers, but when I saw this film in 2012, my daughter was like a year.
Okay.
Well, no, she was like a year old or less, and she was just learning to walk. So I was in the theater with her, and we had to be on the lowest level because she just wouldn't stop walking around. So I had to be like, have one eye on her, and she's like just holding on to a chair and then scooting over to another chair where no one was, and then scooting over to another chair, and one eye on the movie. And she didn't look at the movie once until like near the third act when there's like, dude, and she would just be like holding on to the chair, just doing nothing but that's what she's doing. And then it would happen. She'd just go and like look at the screen because she's like, that's where the sound came from. No more sound? And then just go back to it and another like loud sound. I actually played that out for her because she came home halfway through the movie when I was watching it. I showed her what she did. She thought it was hilarious. But
Jeff Daniels, probably my favorite character in this movie. As the like gangster that comes back in the past and just like it's just like, yeah, time travel. Yeah, it's messy. It'll mess with your head, but yeah, let's go kill these guys. He just hangs out in the back room of like of a bar or whatever. Just hangs out. Yeah. I mean, his whole job is like, man, I went back from the future back to the past. I just hang out here. No big deal.
You should go to China. I'm going to France. Motherfucker, I'm from the future. You should go to China. Anyone who hasn't seen The Newsroom, I only saw like the first 2 seasons. And I think there's 3, but it has him and, you know, other people that you'd be impressed by. And it's just fucking great. An HBO show. I thought it was an HBO show, but I see it's on Hulu right now. That's weird. Yeah, it is an HBO show.
That's kind of weird.
Scandalous thing I'm about to say, but I've never seen Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, wow.
But I have seen Dumb and Dumber 2.
Oh, then you wouldn't understand like the first 20 minutes of that movie.
I didn't understand why any of it was made in the sequel. The sequel.
Okay. Yeah, the sequel wasn't needed. Was definitely not needed, but
or should we call it the threequel? Because Dumb and Dumber exists.
Yeah. Oh man. The first one was great. I don't know. They just should have just killed it there. Should have just left it and been okay with it. But money talks, and here we are.
I just love that they did that, and then like however long, 5 years later, Keanu Reeves was like, let me show you how to do this. Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
Specifically Bill and Ted.
Specifically.
Not Matrix 4.
Yeah. I still haven't seen the Matrix 4 though, so
it's fine. Just if you're very well versed in how the action scenes played out in the other 3 movies, be ready for it to feel like an epileptic's nightmare.
Okay.
Which is very weird. It's not going to be stroby, but like they were so patient holding shots, much like John Wick is today with those films, that it's now just so cut up that you're like, Jesus Christ, whoever edited Taken 3 really showed up to work on Matrix 4.
Yeah, I've seen the Matrix 3, 4, 5 times. But the other 2 I've maybe seen once.
That's all you need.
Yeah, maybe once.
If that.
I understand the premise.
I know what plot happened.
Yeah.
But where were the characters?
Outside of Keanu Reeves and the girl.
Trinity? Carrie-Anne Moss?
Okay. Yes, Trinity. His love interest.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a lot to say about Looper.
This movie also, another connection that I made between this and Interstellar is they use the same trucks, and I don't know if it's like the exact same. I'd have to take a look. But like pickup trucks apparently in the future are going to have like fuel cells behind or in the truck bed, and then there's going to be like think of like a gas pump line going down the tailgate around the back and into your gas tank, and it's going to look like a gas nozzle. This movie has it when they're doing the trucks, and also Interstellar, the truck that Matthew McConaughey drives does the same thing. So apparently that's going to be the way of the future.
The regular pickup trucks, or like that white truck that he was?
No, the regular pickup truck.
Okay.
Not like the milk truck thing with all the gold bars in the back of it.
Yeah, I'll say this how he only turned in half of his silver bars, like that made like it was cool visually, but like
Yeah.
he could have stashed the other half of the cash. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess keeping the silvers like stock if the silver goes up, but like he could have taken a lot of the leverage that they had against him away by just stashing half the cash.
Yeah. And then not hiding his buddy or his not buddy into his vault.
Yeah,
that that didn't help him at all.
dude, Paul Dano, our Riddler coming up
No, yeah. In
in the
the
Batman.
Batman.
Yeah. What do you have you seen a lot of Paul Dano films?
Mm-mm.
Little
I
Miss
have not.
Sunshine, Ruby Sparks, There Will Be
Nope.
Blood.
Wildfire. Nope.
I don't know Wildfire.
I'm just looking. I have Wikipedia open, so I'm able to cheat a little bit.
I need to put Ruby Sparks in the list if I didn't already, because that is like
Night and Day. Cowboys
what?
and Aliens.
He was in the Tom Cruise movie Night and Day.
Double checking. Yep, he was. He was Simon Feck.
What a piece of shit movie.
Hey, wait. Wasn't that no? But yeah, wasn't that in the marbles race?
What? Night
Wasn't
and Day?
Yeah.
I'll never put it there.
Oh, I didn't put it there. I thought you put it there.
Ooh, I'm not doing that.
Oh, he was in 12 Years a Slave too.
Yeah, he was one of the slave owners, one of the assholes. He was in Oakjaw, which I haven't seen. But yeah, Ruby Sparks is fucking fantastic. If anyone enjoyed Little Miss Sunshine, they need to go on Netflix and watch Living with Yourself. Paul Rudd and Ruby Sparks. Both are, I believe, directed by the same people who directed Little Miss Sunshine.
Nice.
And all three of them are fan fucking tastic. Yep. They also did Battle of the Sexes, which I still have not seen, with Emma Stone and Steve Carell.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either. And we've also made it this far without talking about Emily Blunt.
She put on a good accent.
Yeah, not bad.
Emily Blunt co-stars in like Edge of Tomorrow.
Yep.
Which I did not love as much as the rest of the world. So I need to see it again.
It was all right. It was all right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say love. I would say it was all right.
Yeah, I thought it was all right. And everyone was like, it's one of the greatest things ever. I'm like, is it?
Is it really? It's not that bad. It's not that good. Jungle Cruise, she was just in. The Quiet Place Part 2.
Both bad movies, unfortunately. Quiet
I
Place Part 1 is.
Yep.
Editing, Brian. At this point, I started doing a deep dive of Dwayne Johnson's IMDb, and it went all the way to doing a deep dive on Will Smith's IMDb, and it just had like basically nothing to do with this film. So that's at the end. I'll mention when, after our outro and everything. That's at the end if you're interested. So let's just skip ahead to the next part that's actually relevant to this movie.
So some of the fun facts about this movie. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was practicing his French. He's actually in real life fluent in French. So it's just funny that he's practicing listening off a tape recorder.
Nice.
It was when he was hanging off the fire escape. When they filmed that, it was actually Joseph Gordon-Levitt's 30th birthday.
Nice.
So as in the middle of the stunt, they stop everything and sing him happy birthday as he's hanging off up there. So the crew came on and sang happy birthday to him and wheeled out a birthday cake.
That's fantastic.
That would be so hard to do. Like, you're in the middle of a scene, you're like trying to get it perfect, especially a stunt like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure he's suspended up there and he's in a harness and stuff, but you're hanging on up there trying to act this out. And then all of a sudden the crew comes out and they're wheeling on a birthday cake singing happy birthday to you. That'd be so jarring.
Editing, Brian, back again to tell you that I cut out a deep dive in Joseph Gordon-Levitt's IMDb and put it at the end of the episode. It's more relevant to this film since he is the star, but it was just talking about his IMDb history. It has some good recommendations for other movies you might want to check out that you may not have heard of. I recommend listening to it, but just, to keep this portion of the podcast streamlined and relevant directly to Looper, let's let's jump into the next part that's actually about Looper.
All right, so for this review of diving deep on IMDb's and also sometimes talking about Looper, anything else you want to say about it?
Just my go-to budget information.
Okay.
So what do you think this? If you haven't seen it, what do you think this movie was
I
filmed
specifically didn't. I stopped myself from looking it up because I knew you'd want to say. I would guess 8 million.
8?
Definitely under 20 million. No, wait. Considering the effects, I'll say under 20 million because they got Bruce Willis, and Bruce Willis wasn't being bitching about not being paid.
Okay. Yeah. There's a budget of 30 million.
Oh shit.
So it's higher than you thought. I mean, but it's still low budget. We're not into like the 60, 70, 100 million or anything crazy. But this was like a little bit of an indie film. It kind of started off as an indie film.
Yeah, if there was some way that this could have been made for like $1 million with lesser known actors and pulled everything off the same, I think this movie would have been even bigger. If it could have, if having $1 million didn't hamper its marketing budget or whatnot.
If everything stayed the same, but you replaced Emily Blunt, Jeff Daniels, Bruce Willis, and Joseph Gordon-Levitz, if you replace those 4 characters with nobodies,
because it reminded me of the buzz around Hard Candy with Elliot Page and Patrick Wilson. Like that movie was made for under $1 million, and man, I don't think it would have. Like no one's talking about Hard Candy anymore. But at the time, I think they would have talked about it even more if it hadn't had such a big budget with the stars it did. Well, that's unfair, because without the stars, I don't think it would have gotten the same attention.
Yeah, I mean,
in the first place,
it's tough. But I mean, this movie started off as Looper started off in indie festivals, small film festivals, stuff like that. So, it could have gone. It was premiered at the Toronto Film Festival.
That's all corrupt.
It might be. It definitely might be. So what do you think this movie brought in?
100 million.
Ooh, you're low. I'll tell you, you're low.
Am I very low or a little low?
In the grand scheme of things, a little low, but when we're talking about this small of numbers, you're really low.
Well, my new guess was gonna be 120, but now how you said that, I'm gonna say at 150.
176 and a half.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they made roughly 140 million. We'll say advertising budget probably not that high, so we'll say they made 130 million.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
That's fucking great for that budget.
Yeah, it's not bad.
When I think the only like mainstream movies that make that kind of return are like Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, I mean they 4 times their money basically, and that's assuming they spent half, 15 million on marketing, which they probably didn't.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, it won a ton of awards at different film festivals and film critic sessions and stuff like that. But they didn't. This movie hasn't won any major awards. So,
what do you think about Rian Johnson's career? Like what you've seen of his, like Looper, the Last Jedi and Knives Out. Like, do you think, like, if he had only done Knives Out, I think people would be like, ooh, he might have a legacy like Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
You know, but
I'd be more excited if he only did like Looper as like a starter, and then Knives Out was his next one, and then Knives Out 2, and then you're telling me, ooh, he might be able to do, you know, some kind of trilogy, maybe not Star Wars trilogy, because I think that would be kind of tough. But if you were to say, you know, he's going to do a Star Trek trilogy or something, I'd probably be a little bit more excited.
Yeah, to be clear, I'd be more forgiving of a trilogy that was completely his own in Star Wars, or I'd be happier for him because he wouldn't have been saddled with JJ's fucking mystery box with Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
You know, like what else could he have done with Luke Skywalker, the thing he got the most hate of? JJ just completely took him out of the plot, made him a hermit who didn't want to be found. How do you justify that?
And then you find him at the end of the movie and you're just like, all right, bye.
Yeah. Yeah, it was totally unfair.
The opening of this movie is literally Luke taking the lightsaber and then hucking it.
Yeah,
just yeets it off a cliff.
There's different way. Like, he should have just dropped it at his feet and walked over it. You know, not made it a fucking joke. I think that would have hit better. But like, at the end of the day, there's very few options for you. You literally can't be like, thank God you found me. Let me be hero again. That would have been weird.
Yeah.
That would have been people would have liked it more as a general audience, but like, just thinking about it, but like, okay, so why was he cut off from the Force? Oh, because he left his Force bracelet off for the last 30 years. Cool. Yeah. And now he's back, you know. But
yeah, I mean, I think out of the three though, I liked the progression, but I think the last one was the worst one. I mean, I think it just got way, and I know we'll get hate for this too, because any Star Wars fans listening to this, it'll just go nuts. But I think they just got like, they went overboard on like the Force through those last three movies. The first 4, 5, 6, they do a good job kind of managing it. 1, 2, 3, they kind of explain things, but it's nothing crazy. But in like this movie, you've got them like warping between places. You've got them like jumping like 3 miles high, and you've got them like just doing just crazy stunts for absolutely no reason.
Yeah, I don't think our buddy Ryan from Granny Shift is going to be getting it this far.
A sort of Star Wars podcast is probably a little bit more relevant on this one, but
true. But yeah, on his Discord, you had been talking about it, and I was like, yeah, 9 pretty much shit all over 7 and 8 for me. So anything that I liked, I retroactively hated. And no offense to Ryan, but he is very in his own Star Wars echo chamber. He is like he's like me with Kingsman, where it takes me longer to recognize. I don't think I'm as bad as Ryan in this case, because I can acknowledge, you know, some faults immediately, where I think he's a little much more forgiving. But he was like, 9 was fan servicey, but I'm a fan. And I was like, I didn't respond, because I just, why do that to him? I don't feel like like putting him in a bad mood, but I was like, I'm also a fan. I just hate it when they do a bad job.
Yeah, I just like stirring pots. So I mean, that was
you're a chef. I get it.
Yeah, I like stirring the pot. I do that from time to time just to do it. But 9, I mean, just super fan servicey. Just, I mean, 8 was starting to get there. But 9 just was way over the top with fan service. Like, they brought in like ships, they brought back Lando, they brought back old characters just to bring them back, just to put them in the background or give them 2 lines for absolutely no reason. Yeah,
what is it? That was a big problem with Rogue One. The people who get in a fight with Luke Skywalker in the bar and one of their arms gets cut off are randomly on the planet that gets like blown up 10 minutes before it gets blown up with the kyber crystals, and like so many critics were like, why you just had it there just for the sake of it, and then you're like, okay, in the next 10 minutes they somehow get off planet, so they're totally fine. And like R2D2, no, not, I think C3PO shows up randomly at another point. It's like, all right, well, this did nothing.
Having Lando fly the Millennium Falcon like he did, was it Empire Strikes Back? No reason for it. He's just flying it. Yeah, I think he says like 2 words to Chewie, and then he just flies away.
Yeah, I think there was another Filmento video that talked about how Rise of Skywalker just like stole a shit ton of the same things from Endgame without earning them. Endgame's getting a lot of shout outs there. This little known movie called Avengers Endgame. No one saw it. It bombed at the theater. It was a huge bummer, but you should check it out. But no, it literally took things like side by side and like compared it. It's just like, I am all the Sith. I am all the Jedi. What the fuck does that mean? Why? Why is it so plotty? So much plot. So bad. It's a bummer because I was most excited about J.J. Abrams because of his Star Trek reboot in 2009.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I hope Rian Johnson keeps going. I mean, I hope he gets more movies, and I hope he finds his niche, because obviously Knives Out was great. So I hope he finds that niche, and I hope he kind of is able to expand from there, whatever he goes into after Knives Out. I don't know if he's got 2 and 3 or just 2, but
they bought it. They paid $100 million to do 2 and 3.
Yeah, but is he directing it?
Oh yeah, he's writing, directing. His production company and Daniel Craig like got a cut of the $100 million.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, fantastic.
Yeah,
but I hope he finds that niche. I hope he stays in it. I hope he is successful. Stop venturing out.
Yeah, I'll say the same thing you said, but a little differently. I hope he gets some self-awareness to know his strengths and weaknesses.
Sure, absolutely.
And
I'm
that'll
100% on board with that.
You know, like, I don't want to, much like Joseph Gordon-Levitt didn't, or Matthew McConaughey didn't want to be pigeonholed. I don't want to pigeonhole him. I just want him to understand where his strengths lie. You know, Michael Bay had to learn that when doing Pain and Gain. He wanted to make a Coen Brothers film because he's a huge fan of those films. He learned he's not great at making them. So he went to Six Underground and, you know, went back to Boom Boom. And that's his strength. You know, like I love watching How I Met Your Mother. I would be the wrong person to write that. It just wouldn't be me. I'd be closer to Kingsman, you know, something. I wish I could say that I could be like James Gunn, but he's fucking insane, and I love him for it. And you know,
I can't imagine what his brain looks like.
Yeah, but I'm not that. You know, I'd say, yeah. At this point, I'm much closer to a Matthew Vaughn. If I had the skills to actually do a film like that, I would not be good at a romantic comedy. You know,
rom-coms have got to be so easy. Are you kidding me?
I wouldn't be good at them because I wouldn't be interested in them. So I would do the most cliche thing and hate it.
Yeah. Joke. Find somebody you like, make a love triangle, and make it all work out in the end. You
know, you can say that, but if you had Michael Bay do a romantic comedy and follow that, it'd be terrible. And if I did it, it would be it would be just sad. It would be sad because you would feel the lack of love for the genre, for the craft of it. You know, I can enjoy it, but you have to love it.
Didn't Michael Bay do a rom-com?
I hope not.
Yeah, wasn't it called Transformers? I mean, wasn't
Transformers
that
2?
Transformers 2,
where they keep saying who's going to say "I love you" first.
Yeah, so it kind of did one.
I think 2 of the writers that were on that did the Star Trek reboot and also a Michael Bay film called The Island, which was underappreciated. Ewan McGregor, Scarlett Johansson, real good.
It sounds familiar. I feel like I've seen that one.
Yeah. I even listened to the audio commentary. Two fun things from that. One, Michael Bay is self-aware. He said that in the US, they market it as this like heady, thoughtful sci-fi film about people who are being grown to be clones just so their organs can be harvested if their famous counterpart goes ill. And in the rest of the world, they market it as boom, boom, Michael Bay. And he was like, they should just market it here because it bombed here. Fucking idiots. and then the other thing was, Scarlett Johansson and Ewan McGregor at the end of the movie, they have sex. And, it's a thing that happens because it's a movie and it's Michael Bay. And he's told that Scarlett Johansson is in her dressing room and she won't come out. And he's like, all right, okay, I gotta go and tell her like it's gonna be a small set. It's gonna be very private.
Intimate. Yeah.
I was gonna say intimate, but that might have been the wrong. Because I was like, that might not be what she wants to hear, and it's gonna be very private, and it's gonna be very respectful. And he goes in, and she's like, I'm not wearing this ghetto ass bra. I'm doing it topless. And he just went, phew. All right, well, it's PG-13, so we can't. He had to convince her to have more clothes on than she wanted.
That's unusual.
Which is just hilarious. I mean, like, I wish you would have, on Ghost and Shell, be like, I'm not wearing this white ass skin. You're recasting. I just want to finish that with your recasting, not give me some Asian makeup, because I could totally see Scarlett Johansson thinking that. just another person who needs more no people around, less yes people.
Yep. And then, Michael Bay also did Armageddon.
Never saw it.
What? You've never seen Armageddon? Wow. That's
Although I have a fun story from Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck's in that, right?
Yes.
Ben Affleck asked him, he's like, wait, so what is it? They're minors, right?
No, it's astronaut movie.
No, yeah, but like, what's his character? Like, what? Let's see. Armageddon
yes.
plot.
Yeah, he's gonna be the one drilling into the asteroid.
Okay, so this leads to renowned driller Harry Stamper, Bruce Willis, who agrees to helm the dangerous space mission. So Ben Affleck was like, wait, so you're training minors to be astronauts. Why not just train astronauts to be minors? And he just looked at him and be like, how about you fucking direct, or you fucking act and I'll fucking direct, okay? He basically was like, no questions. No. Silencio.
I mean,
he's like, all right, whatever.
That movie, Ben Affleck, Billy Bob Thornton, Liv Tyler, Will Patton, Steve Buscemi, Owen Wilson, Michael Clark Duncan, and then obviously Bruce Willis. But I mean, that was a good movie. I mean, if you're looking for a good, fantastic 90s popcorn, this is fantastic 90s popcorn.
All right. It's saying people also search for Independence Day. Better than Independence Day? Worse? Same?
Same.
Okay.
Same. I would
say. Because Independence Day is definitely a weird fucking film when you think about it, but it's just so fun.
This one isn't so much weird as much as...
Sorry, when I was saying weird, I wasn't meaning the aliens. I was meaning we put a computer virus and we beat them.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty weird.
No,
what do you think about
this movie is pretty straightforward. I mean, you have 90% of the plot with your one sentence. Yes. We're training minors to be astronauts. You basically have 90% of the plot. But it's good. It's a good popcorn movie. I mean, it's one of those 90s movies that you can watch a couple times. Be like, yeah, I'm okay with this.
Mm-hmm. And it's doing the tradition of two different studios doing the same movie at the same time
Yeah.
because Deep Impact came out.
Mm-hmm.
Just like what is it? Snow White and the Huntsman came out right around the time that Mirror Mirror came out, and was it Rounders came out at the same time as 21, that movie with the kid from, he was in Across the Universe. I won't mention the villain of 21.
All I can think of is 21 Jump Street and 20. Okay, that's the card movie. Yeah. Where he counts cards. Yeah, gotcha. I've seen this movie. The MIT students.
Yeah. But yeah. Man, we've talked about Looper probably for like half an hour in the spoiler section.
I mean, we've talked about a lot of things that are people that are in the movie and the directors, but we went off on a weird rock tangent there for a while too. But
yeah, I hope all the fun facts were valuable and people got some recommendations to other stuff like Hard Candy. I would definitely recommend this. That was a great fucking film.
And we're probably both going to check out The Lookout.
Yes, I put it on my list one of these days. Oh, cool. I just realized that the director of Hard Candy also directed 30 Days of Night, which are very different films, but both great. He also directed the Twilight Saga Eclipse, so we won't mention that. Sorry, I just got something stuck in my throat.
And it wasn't a bad love story about.
I still haven't watched the final movie. I've seen every other one. I watched it like with significant others at the time, and then just one day I was super bored. I was like, let me torrent this last one just to complete it, just so I'm done. And then I watched 5 minutes of it, and I saw that fucking weird CGI baby face. I was like, you know what? Thanks for telling me. Nope, this was wasting my time.
Yeah, I've seen the first one for sure. I think that's it. I didn't continue.
Yeah, you were smarter than me. But I'm saving that last Twilight film for like some punishment. Some video.
Hey, if this podcast gets 10 reviews, we'll make it watch it.
You know what? Actually, if this podcast gets where is it now? Let me see. Apple Podcast movies are dope. If by the end of 2022 this podcast has how many ratings or reviews already? It already has 4 ratings. If it gets up to 13, then actually 11. 7 more. If it gets 7 ratings and reviews by the end of the year, let's review the Twilight Saga.
The whole thing?
Sure. Well, I was going to say the last one. Well, the last one. Okay. And you have to skip everything.
Okay. Like I said, I've seen the first one, so I know where we're going. I'm fairly confident I've not seen the middle one, and I know for sure I've not seen the last one. So,
and by the last one, technically there are 3 books. No, wait, there's 4 books, but there are 5 movies because the last one did a part 2. So
even better.
So we'll only do part 2.
You should make Holly do part 1. I'll do part 2, and I won't watch anything.
No, she's
not going to corrupt her.
Well, based on how she reacted to watching the Eternals, which is just a film. It's not. It's just boring.
It is.
It had a lot of promise. It was pretty boring. The way she reacted to that, I think she'd find my house and burn my house down if she had to watch a Twilight film.
She should.
Either that or she's just going to be like, you know what? Guilty pleasure. It's a 50-50. She either tries to murder me in my sleep in a fire, or she's just like, you know what? It's just delicious trash.
There are movies like that. I mean, there definitely are movies like that. where you don't tell everybody that you watch it, but you secretly watch it once a year, once every other year.
Here, there's two ways you can do this. Either we get up to, you know what? I'll just say, I said 11 because I wanted to add 7, but we've got a whole year. We got 11 months. I'll say 17 total ratings and reviews across Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So I'll add them together if it's 17 or more. Or the Spotify and Apple Podcasts have to have exactly the same number of ratings on December 1st.
Okay.
So that by the end of the year, we'll add a review for Twilight Part 2. So if no more ratings and reviews are added to Apple Podcasts, then there need to be exactly 4 on Spotify. But I'd just prefer us to get to 17.
I would too. Yeah,
because that would just be better. But you know,
absolutely.
But if for context, if there are 8 reviews on Apple Podcast ratings or reviews on Apple Podcasts and 7 on Spotify, no dice. It would have to be 8 and 8. So, yeah, if it's under 17 total, it just needs to match the number. So,
I think that's pretty fair. I think that'll be tricky, but fair.
I should start adding that matching numbers to the other ones. You know, because if 3 people really want to see me eat a radish with the bomb sauce on it for something, you know, then we'll give those 3 people the chance. But yeah, God damn it, I don't like that we put that out into the world.
I think if we regret it, we regret it. If not, then oh well.
At least it won't cause physical pain, just emotional.
Just emotional. Yeah.
You wanna do the outro now?
Sure.
All right.
This movie may have been a jointy
Edible. And maybe jointy. But either way, this movie is dope. Because movies are dope. I'm Brian.
And I'm Brad.
And you can find our socials in the links below. Go follow Brad on Instagram.
I've got like all 5 people. It's okay.
Or join the Movies Are Dope Discord.
Yeah, that works too. We're both there. Both pretty active.
All right. Well, you all know what you need to do if you want to make us suffer and watch the last Twilight film. With that horrible CGI baby face. Look up Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2 animatronic baby. And
nope. I like sleeping at night.
I was gonna say it's not that, just to trick you, but I won't.
Yeah,
but
I like sleeping.
Once you see that, you'll understand why the CGI baby face came on. But it's just get a fucking baby.
Yeah.
Just get a baby.
There's somebody on the set that has a baby, I promise you.
You would have saved money on whatever fucking animatronic you made if you just got a baby and then used a fake one for every other shot. Just cover it with all the no one puts a fucking blanket over a baby's head when they're holding it upright. It's movie magic. Anyway. All right. I am stopping. See ya, everybody.
See ya. Thank you.
Editing Brian. This is the Dwayne Johnson and Will Smith deep dive. Enjoy.
I still want to see Jungle Cruise. I haven't seen it, but
it's so bad. It's so bad. It's aggressively mediocre and lazy in the first 5 minutes, and then it just gets lazier. Not by a lot.
Does it just like lean on the rock, or what does it do?
No, well, again, The Rock is only playing The Rock with one small difference. The way I'll sum it up is like that works with Jumanji because he's a 15-year-old kid in The Rock's body. A lot of mileage out of that. In this one, he's The Rock, but he makes dad jokes that nobody likes. And that could have worked ish. It could have been serviceable. But what I realize is that he delivers the dad jokes with the zest and verve of someone in a loveless marriage who's given up trying. So,
wow.
So if he said that's what she said, which they don't, but he would be like, that is what she said. You know what? That was a better performance than he gave. So it's just like he would. It's he's trying to rip off stuff like literally his Jumanji movies or Pirates of the Caribbean or The Mummy to the point where I think he was like, wait, Johnny Depp did what in his final Pirates movie? He just had an earpiece and he had them read stuff and he just said what they told him and he did that with no effort. Like there was no Rockian twinkle to his eye. There was no feeling of mischief when he said it. Like when I say a dad joke, my goal is to be make it as cringy as possible and then deliver it with such
gusto,
verve and zest that the cringe is increased to 11. And if the other person dies inside a little bit, success. Now everyone pretended like they died, but man, bleh. What a bad. I watched it just to finally like satiate that. Like, how bad can it? Man, it's so bad. Just goddamn. Whew. So mediocre.
We can tie this back to our first movie because Villeneuve also did Sicario, which had Emily Blunt in it.
Oh yeah.
So we can tie that back to Blade Runner. Look at that. We've gone full circle.
Yeah. Let me see. Emily Blunt, because she this accent is really good and she does a really good job. And you know what? I'm going to give a little grace to Dwayne Johnson because I haven't said this in anything recorded, but his most recent comment on his and Vin Diesel's feud and him not showing up in Fast 10, like he talked about how Vin Diesel made this public. They had talked for, which I didn't know. They actually conversed directly instead of like through everybody else. And he was like, yeah, I'm not going to be in it. And they left it not happily, but like amicably, like we're done. And then after that, Vin Diesel did his very cringy post where he like magnified himself to look bigger than Dwayne and then said, my little brother Dwayne. I'm like, all right, that's a little condescending, but he's been acting like a little crybaby. Not I don't want to say crybaby because that's very, but like he seemed to be acting like a prima donna, being like candy ass and blah blah blah. So like, yeah, give it a little dig. But then he was like talking about how he used Paul Walker afterwards and these other things, and he's like, it just speaks to Vin Diesel's manipulation. And I was like, oh shit, this is the first time we seem to be talking about it like a human being.
Yeah. And not as like a character, like a cartoon character.
Yeah, not being like candy asses or like veiled threats or like, say not veiled threats. He didn't say veiled threats. That was misspeaking, but veiled references to him or saying like, I hold no hard judgments against him now that we're done. Actually, let me take that back. I do hold a grudge. It's like just stop playing these stupid games. And that felt human. I was like, oh, finally you seem like you're just being honest.
Yeah.
I never needed a lot of detail, but it's always seemed like you've been performing this whole feud.
The Rock feels like he performs everything. I mean, you go to his Instagram, he feels like he's performing. You go to like YouTube videos, or like it just he always feels like he's on a character. He doesn't feel. I don't think he feels like. To me, he doesn't feel like a real person. He always feels like he's playing himself on a movie kind of thing.
I've seen Instagram videos of him meet the wish, Make a Wish kids, and I'm like, I'm happy for the kids, but I'm like, all right, it's public, but you seem like you're performing again for the camera. Like, I don't know. I just want to give him some grace because I've been tough on him, and I think he does need less yes men around him. But like, I get, and yeah. I got what Vin Diesel, besides the photo cropping and the my little brother Dwayne, that's weird. But like, I'm sure Vin Diesel's just. I saw me doing that. I could see me accidentally like talking about these things that would have concerned me, like, if we don't make it the best possible, that I'm failing my brother who passed away, and like, I know he said no, but if I do it publicly, maybe that'll get through to him. And it's like, dude, nope, you
yeah,
I see how he did it without
you pushed it too far.
Yeah, without seeming like thinking of himself as being bad for doing it, but like a good therapist would have been like, do you realize what you're doing? It's manipulative. But yeah, to the performance aspect, I remember every single interview when he was doing Jumanji: The Next Level, he kept talking about his tequila brand. Like every single interview had like a let's toast to, and it's just like, all right. Like there's your way of doing it, and there's the Ryan Reynolds way of doing it. And the Ryan Reynolds way has the very crucial detail of having a tongue firmly stuck in his cheek. And
he did come out this week and say that he noticed on the latest episode of Peacemaker.
Yes.
that his gin was on the counter.
Yeah, that was fucking great. I loved it. And like every Mint commercial where it literally is nothing but performance, every aviation gin, every like behind the scenes on 6 Underground, he's performing, but his tongue is firmly stuck in his cheek, and you're just like, this is just funny because he's in on the joke. Yeah. Whereas like Dwayne Johnson's like, all right, I have this checklist that I have to hit in this interview. Tequila brand, so people will buy my tequila. It's like
the new energy drink that I'm doing. The new
yeah,
because he's got his own energy drink.
Yeah, this is my protein powder that I use that's sponsored or whatever. It's like
here's my Under Armour shirt, my Under Armour pants, my Under Armour shoes.
And honestly, it made so much sense when I saw him doing some presentation to a talent agency. Is like they had represented Will Smith. And he's like, I'm modeling my career off, and no offense, but I'm off Will Smith. I mean, you did a great job with him. I'm going to do it better. And I'm like, oh yeah, Will Smith keeps getting stuck in his own, this is how we make the movie. And sometimes that works with iRobot. And sometimes it's just god awful, like with that assassin movie where he played himself younger. It's just like, ooh, mediocrity.
iRobot I've seen. I don't know which movie you're talking about where he's playing himself.
Ang Lee. No, he's not playing himself. He's playing like 2 different characters, and one of them he's aged down. So I'll get it. It was
Gemini Man?
Gemini, yeah.
Okay. I know the movie. I haven't seen it.
I mean, there's plenty of, let me just, we're getting way into the weeds here, but I'm just going to run down the list of Will Smith movies of late, and I'll just say all the movies that go into the Will Smith. Oh, Suicide Squad did the Will Smith formula. I have a daughter, so I'm human, and that's all it needs. And oh shit, Karate Kid 2 is coming. Fuck yeah. Wait. Hancock 2. I don't know how accurate this is because they've been talking about Hancock too for a long time, but he's only a producer. Never mind. Yeah, that's a bummer. The Karate Kid one with his son was actually really great. Dude, he's gonna do The Alchemist. Don't do The Alchemist. He's doing the Paulo Coelho novel, The Alchemist.
I only know of the anime, so I have no idea.
It doesn't look like he's starring, actually, so never mind. Never mind. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna go through the ones I've seen and wow, there's a lot of shit he produced. Why am I not seeing his acting? Okay, there we go. Bad Boys for
Bad Boys
there's
for
a
Life.
Bad Boys. There's a
Yeah.
Wait, but Bad Boys for Life was 3. There's an actual Bad Boys 4 that's going into production.
Oh, fantastic. I'm sure Martin Lawrence is ready for that.
They should have just held the Bad Boys for Life title for the 4th one. Anyway, Bad Boys for Life, not as bad. Gemini Man, yep, definitely did it. Aladdin, I think they actually did a decent job, but that movie was doomed with Guy Ritchie not giving a shit about the movie. Bright, Suicide Squad, After Earth, I've heard. Men in Black 3, 100% did the same thing. Hancock did it. I Am Legend did it, but it was pretty good until the end. Hitch, all these are iRobot, Shark Tale. They all go through the no, it needs to be a lovable guy. And so,
Wild Wild West.
I'm sure Wild Wild West, Men in Black 2, there's a formula to Will Smith. Sometimes it works gangbusters and sometimes it's total trash. And I think that's actually helped Will Smith because the movies that are just trash, the critics are like, this movie's trash. People don't watch it. And then they don't connect the dots so much. Dwayne Johnson keeps having modest success with movies. Just off the top of my head, Skyscraper, Jumanji
Terrible.
2, 3. Skyscraper was pretty bad. Yeah, it was
Hobbs and Shaw, terrible.
Yep, he does the yoink and twist from Ludwig. I was gonna say this did the yoink and twist with Terminator.
Yes, I mean this is basically like an updated version of Terminator.
Yeah, but he Skyscraper, yoink and twist from Die Hard with and then put it in China for the Chinese market. Let's see. Yeah, and then Jungle Cruise just in the first 5 minutes, just National Treasure, another one. It ripped off so many and did it so shittily. And then Hobbs and Shaw literally stole the MacGuffin from Mission Impossible 2, the worst Mission Impossible film. Red Notice was decently entertaining.
It's if you haven't seen the movie, watch it one time and then just forget that you've watched it.
Watch it one time and then go over to YouTube on Filmento and just watch Filmento rip it apart. You'll be like, all right, yep, I've covered both bases. I laughed and then I saw how hot garbage it was, and I'll never watch it again.
And I wanted to cry.
You wanted to cry?
No, I'm saying you watch it one time, you laugh, you watch them rip it apart, and then you want to cry.
Jesus Christ. I'm just looking at Dwayne Johnson's future ones. Red 1 is coming with Ryan Reynolds for Netflix. He's doing Black Adam. Let's see. Red Notice. He was in Free Guy as a voice that he sent over the cell phone, which was funny.
Yep.
But yeah, Jungle Cruise garbage. Jumanji: The Next Level was a rushed sequel, and if you take that whole story of The Next Level and just made it so each character starts off with only 2 lives instead of 3, would have solved 99% of the problems. Jesus Christ, he did Fortnite Chapter 2. Okay.
I just realized they're doing a Halo movie too.
He is?
No, he's not. I'm saying they're doing a Halo movie. So you're Fortnite.
Well, they've been talking about doing a Halo movie with Peter Jackson for the longest time. That's why what is it? That District 9 came out because the director, it fell apart, and the director's like, well, I want to do something creative. God. Baywatch ripping off he had two movies that ripped off 21 Jump Street. Central Intelligence, based on the trailer, you could just see that it's ripping off the high school portion of 21 Jump Street. And then Baywatch was, and it was fine. It wasn't as terrible as I thought it would be, but that also ripped off 21 Jump Street. I already mentioned Central Intelligence just now. San Andreas, that didn't look great. Hercules, horrible director. Heard it was trash. And also he did Hercules and Scorpion King just feel so close together. Yeah. It's weird that he was called franchise Viagra when really all he did was Journey 2 and then didn't do a third one because it wasn't successful enough. And then he did, where is it? G.I. Joe 2, Retaliation.
Yep.
And then didn't do another one because it wasn't successful enough. And then he was brought into Fast and Furious 5 or, somewhere in there. So, franchise Viagra? I don't know. Anyway, we've gotten far off the path.
Way off. Way off.
Editing Brian. Here's the Joseph Gordon-Levitt deep dive. Enjoy.
Well, if anyone's still here after we just went through
The Rock and
me
Will Smith's
shitting on
entire...
Will Smith and Dwayne Johnson's quickly atrophying career, or slowly, let's say. I'm going to just go through Joseph Gordon-Levitt's a little bit because I do want to, I watched him like most people on the show Third Rock from the Sun, and he was the quirky kid, and he almost got pigeonholed into that type of character. But then he did a lot of low budget movies, some of which I actually saw, not Brick, but The Lookout. Oh, all right. It is a Marvel actor. Don't be on the IMDb looking at The Lookout. It is a Marvel actor. And I'm going to make it even. It's a male Marvel actor, and their first name is Chris.
Okay. Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. Let's see. Chris Evans. Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't realize Chris Pratt was just the first one to come to my mind because I like Guardians and I like Parks and Rec. So he's the first one I think of when you say Chris. There's
also Chris Pine, but I already gave away that's only a Marvel actor. One of those three Chris's is literally his character in a movie called The Lookout. Which Chris can you guess which one would you guess is the character's name? Because I thought it was showing that his like co-host, like a fellow star, but no, his character's name is just one of those Chris's.
Chris Evans makes the most sense. Chris Pratt would be kind of weird, and then Hemsworth, I think that'd be super weird. So I'm going to go with Chris Evans just because I think it'd be the most logical.
Cool. It's Chris Pratt.
That's super weird. I've never seen the movie Lookout.
I remember renting it from Blockbuster. It was solid. It was a good showing of his acting ability. He also was in like Stop Loss, which I didn't see, Miracle at St. Anna, which I did, 500 Days of Summer.
That wasn't bad.
And then he did G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra, which everyone was like, huh? He was like, it was a once in a lifetime kind of thing. Like a bad movie, but done by the Mummy guy. So it's like popcorn that you can just, I think I've watched G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra about 50 times, maybe 30.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's popcorn. It's disposable popcorn. It's not great, but it is what it is, and it knows what it is, and it is it unabashedly.
I've seen Snake Eyes.
Oh, how was that?
It was okay.
I feel sorry for Henry Golding because I heard that was not great. Also,
Yeah.
who the fuck steals the naming convention from one of the worst X-Men films, X-Men Origins Wolverine? How are you going to do G.I. Joe Origins Snake Eyes? Why? Why would you want to subconsciously make that connection in people's minds? Just say G.I. Joe Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
Done. Just like Hobbs and Shaw. Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. Not the Fast and Furious. Nope. Don't do that. That's dumb.
Presents.
That sounds dumb. Or just do Hobbs and Shaw.
Yep.
Or F and F. Hobbs and Shaw. Done. Anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Fast Hobbs, Furious Shaw. That would have been better because it's so cringy. Just like a lot of the franchise.
Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
Nope.
Inception. We got to be getting closer to Inception.
I was gonna say. Then he starts picking. After 500 Days of Summer, it keeps going, and he gets Inception 1 year later. He also does some great, like he does The Dark Knight Rises, which is the worst of the Dark Knight trilogy. But he did 50-50, which was just this stunning film, I thought.
Never seen it. I don't know anything about it.
Written by Seth Rogen and his writing partner, Evan Goldberg, I think. And about a friend's real journey of recovering from cancer.
Oh, okay.
I think they co-wrote it with him.
I think I've heard of this movie. I might have seen this movie.
Yeah, and that was a great film, and it was unusual. Like one of the people that's in it was Bryce Dallas Howard, and at a certain point, obviously she's his significant other in the film. He's going through some light spoilers. He's going through fucking cancer. And what we often don't think about in people's cancer stories is how it affects those around them. Like they are also suffering. Their pain isn't more important, obviously. But if we're doing a tier list.
Yeah.
but
it's still on there.
But it's there. It's a part of it. And she doesn't make all the right decisions. She cheats on him. She gets caught. She's talking to him. It's a scene we've seen 1,000 times before where she's apologizing. You just see his resolve melting. And you're like, all right, he's going to take her back. In 10 minutes, something else is going to happen. 15 minutes and their relationship will be over. We've seen this in films a ton of times. Seth Rogen, his best friend, busted. He's like, what are you doing? She cheated on you. Fuck this. Don't take her back. And when that happened, like the whole film is delightful and great and heartbreaking and like emotional, and you should see it. But when that happened, I was like, holy shit. Why have I never seen this in a film? So simple. And like he gets his resolve back and breaks up with her and she leaves. It was just, I love that movie for that scene specifically because I've never seen that in any other film with the same situations or similar situations. Anyway, that's a great one. He did Premium Rush, which was not great. It looked good, not great.
Is that an auto racing movie?
He's a bike delivery messenger.
Oh, okay.
He gets caught up in something. He also wrote and directed Don John, which co-stars Black Widow Scarlett Johansson, who and Julianne Moore. But in a sequence, she dry humps him to completion as a way to manipulate him into going back to school. Also had Brie Larson in it. She does her job well. But he wrote and directed it, and it's really good. 8 out of 10. But I just want to celebrate him a little bit because he got out of being typecast. And
which we talked about last time too.
Yeah,
I think we had the
much
same
like
conversation.
Matthew McConaughey. He did that. It took him longer, admittedly. I think Matthew McConaughey did that in like 1 year. He's like, bing, bang, boom. Okay, Chris Nolan. Hello, thank you.
Hello, I'm ready.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt had to do probably a decade for Chris Nolan to come calling. Like, would you like to kiss Elliot Page? Yes, please. And would you also like that kiss to be completely joyless, passionless, and not engage anyone in the audience? You read my mind.
Sign me up. I'll do it for free.
I'm just going to say the kiss in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, which is almost exactly the same scenario, is just a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's a fantastic actor. I'm sad that we don't see him a little bit more. I mean, I think he does a wonderful job in this movie. I think he does a wonderful job in Looper, Interstellar. Oh, nope, the other one, Inception. There we go. We'll get there. I think he does a good job. I think he, yeah. I wish we'd see him a little bit more. For sure.
I'm looking at his IMDb, and only 2018 and 2011 had one thing released with him in it. Everything else has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things every year. So he's in a lot.
He's in a lot, but a lot of it's like weird stuff because after we're done with the trivia portion of that, I went ahead and looked, but a lot of it's like short films, or he's a voice of, or he just it's a movie I've never heard of.
Yeah, The Trial of the Chicago 7 was good. That was on Netflix.
Yeah, or he's in like one episode of a TV show just randomly.
Yeah, he does run hitrecord.com, I believe. That's his company. It's like a crowdsourced kind of he's encouraging crowdsourcing creative projects.
Okay. I see.
Not monetarily, like collaboratively crowdsourcing things.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And then he does this movie, and then he turns around and he's in a voice in The Last Jedi.
Oh, was he? Yeah, that's not surprising. Yeah. I don't know.
I wish we could see him more in bigger movies. That's where I'm going. I'm gonna stick with it. I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I think he's a good actor.
Yeah.
Wish we'd see him more.
Hey, all he has to do is sign up to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yep, and we'll see him every day.
I mean, hey,
he'll be on one channel or another.
Hey, maybe he'll be in
cable shows.
Maybe he'll be in Knives Out too. He reminds me a lot of Anna Kendrick. That may be because I just thought of her because she's also in Don John, I think. Did I see that right? Nope, she's not. She's in something else. But Anna Kendrick seems like she just does what she wants, and like does some good stuff. They can be popular, but she won't. She's not, looking to have her own franchise films. Like Pitch Perfect is the closest thing Anna Kendrick's ever had to a franchise because it was a trilogy. But
was she in all three, or was she just in the first two?
No, she was in all three. Okay. But like, I remember when the streaming wars started, Anna Kendrick, I saw her on fucking everything. She had an HBO original show that she was on. She did a Christmas movie where she was the star for Disney Plus. She did a lot, but none of it felt, like franchises feel when you see Dwayne Johnson in it, or, Bruce Willis. It's just like, oh yeah, she's doing what she wants. She was in Into the Woods, Up in the Air with George Clooney. Let's see. Love Life was a TV show she did. Oh, cool. I just saw there was a Scott Pilgrim versus the World Water Crisis, and she was in it. Kind of want to look that up now. Okay, Love Life was a Max original with one of the stars of Why is it not showing him as one of the top cast when he's in the yeah? In The Good Place, William Jackson Harper. Oh wow, there's a lot of great people in that. I need to check it out. She was in Dummy, which was on what was that? A horrible streaming show that did Quibi.
Oh, okay. I was like, I have no idea where we're going with this.
Yeah, that was a pretty decent show, actually. It was written by Cody. What's her last name? Cody Heller. She created it. And she is the significant other of Dan Harmon. But it was great. She actually made Dan Harmon a character. Played by no, I clicked on the wrong thing. Never mind. Not by Dan Harmon, but literally named Dan Harmon and has Rick and Morty in it. But yeah, she was just she did Noelle for Disney Plus. She was just fucking everywhere.
For about 3 seconds.
No, she's doing all kinds of stuff. She does Trolls World Tour as part of it. I guess that's a franchise for her.
Twilight, which was a franchise.
Yeah. So she's continuously successful in her career, but like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, we don't look at them like Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson, you know?
Yeah.
Which I think I would prefer their career. I mean, I would love Robert Downey Jr.'s money.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you know, where you seem more like just a real person who's not getting harassed every fucking day, every minute. You know,
when you run in there and like, hey, you're so and so. I'm like, yeah, I am. Yeah. You seem really cool to hang out with.
I could see Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Anna Kendrick going to a Starbucks and not having an issue outside of California.
Yeah,
and being able to keep it on the DL. Be like, and you know, if Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson went to a Starbucks in Colorado was shut down.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to leave that building.
Yeah, COVID cases would spike because all the surrounding states would then migrate there just to see them. But and this is not a dig against Anna Kendrick or Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I think they'd be left alone for the most part. Like,
yeah, you'd probably you'd have a couple of people that might go up to him like, hey, you know, I know you kind of get an autograph kind of thing, but not like shutting down roads leading to that place.
Probably, hopefully they don't need a security detail for their day-to-day life.
I think it's sad that anybody has to have that, but
yeah,
there are some crazy people in this world, so
that's why we got to keep educating people. Parasocial relationships. Watch Bo Burnham, I guess.
I'm sad. So I don't think we brought up Blind Spotting or Charlie Bartlett.
Charlie Bartlett's coming in 4 reviews, so we'll be good.
Yeah.
Not including a potential Peacemaker review.
I'm just going to get a poster of my face just sitting here. And then I'm just going to mute my mic, walk away, come back 2 hours later, and then start at that point with Charlie Bartlett.
I'm not going to talk for 2 hours about Charlie Bartlett alone. But have you seen it yet?
No, I have not.
All right.
I knew it was on the list. I knew it was on the list. I just haven't got that far yet.
I have something to look forward to. Oh, hey, look who was in Love Life. The teacher from Booksmart.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I don't see her little student boyfriend.
Well, that's a plus. I'm okay with this.
Oh, Hope Davis, Robert Downey Jr.'s mother. Hope Davis, who was also in Charlie Bartlett, is in Love Life.
Yeah, her boyfriend her student boyfriend isn't in that because he's only been like a couple commercials, and then that movie really. I think it was like AT&T or something.
Oh shit! Whoa! I just went and actually looked at the IMDb for The Lookout, and it has Jeff Daniels in it with Isla Fisher.
Oh, I like Isla Fisher.
And Matthew Good, who was in what? Well, he was in Watchmen. He was the guy who tries to kill everybody. Oh, he was also. Matthew Good was in The King's Man.
Oh,
I'm just realizing. Let me fact check that. Yep, he is. Nice. I didn't realize that was the same actor. That's dope. Wow, this cast is fucking stacked. Bruce McGill, Carla Gugino. Yeah. Wow. I need to watch The Lookout again. This is like, I was Alex Borstein, the woman from Family Guy and Magnificent Miss Maisel. Wow. I just thought it was some random, like, hidden little gem that was kind of fine, but nothing like groundbreaking that I found in a Blockbuster. But damn, never mind. The Lookout. I should add it to the list.